So I think what happens to most people, and the reason why I pursued higher education, right, and financial aid, because I figured out that if you can teach a person how to master financial aid, how to utilize financial aid, and how to get scholarships, then that person becomes a lifelong learner, and they enjoy learning. Because at the end of the day, I don't care what degrees you have, you're always learning. We're always taking leadership workshops and different things like that. So you're continuously learning. Knowing how to master those and not having to pay for them is budgeting, right? So what happens with scholarships? Scholarships gives you the means to be able to educate yourself, enjoy education without the stress of money.
Hey guys, and we are back with another podcast episode, The Future Starts Here. And today we are going to get into the real tea about scholarships. Today we get to hear from the one and only Yolanda Gatewood, who is the scholarship supervisor in College Access. Yolanda, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well.
All right, I'm so happy to have you here. So,
thank you, Madeline. I'm happy to be here.
Of course. Guys, stay tuned for this podcast because this is going to be a great one. I like to call her auntie. So we're just having a conversation between an auntie and a niece, but we're going to get into the tea about scholarships. But first, we want to hear Yolanda's journey and how she got to where she is and say yes. So starting out from, where'd you go to high school at?
I am a proud alumni of Lafayette High School, my alma mater. Yes, Lafayette, my dear old alma mater.
It's not hashtag, but we're going to, okay.
I mean, but it is a better school.
Okay, all right. Hey. What year did you graduate?
I graduated.
Okay, so you said you're a proud alum from Lafayette,
I
right?
am.
So what is so good about the Buffalo public school system?
Because you can accomplish anything you want through the Buffalo public school system. Many people think that it's not a good school system, but it is. I mean, there are those of us that are lawyers, doctors that went through Buffalo public school system. It's not what school you go to, it's what you put into it. You get whatever you want out of it. That's life, though. Whatever you put into something, you're going to get the best out of it. Lafayette was a inspirational school for a lot of us back in my time because it made you had pride in your school. They made you have pride in your school. I had the best principal in the world, and yeah. Mr. Ganter, he was the best principal. He was one of those ones that in Lafayette, there's an angel because every year the senior class gives a gift. There was an angel that sat in the floor. Nobody would ever dare to walk on that angel. And we couldn't. And now when I go back to that school and I see it, I'm like, don't walk on the angel.
You still don't walk on
right, don't walk on the angel. I mean, I heard that school is a historical site. I mean, you got to pay reference to things that you're supposed to.
Okay. I guess I could resonate with that. So even though I would say that, Hutch-Tech is the best high school, we went to high school at different times. So I guess I agree with what you're saying. I had a lot of pride. Like Hutch-Tech had a lot of pride when I was going there. And again, like you said, the best principal. My principal was Mr. Amato when I first came in. He was amazing, and now he's going on to do amazing things. But the importance of that was that what he taught us and the principal that he was is stuck with us throughout the next few years. Yeah. So I was talking about going through the next few years. What college did you go to for undergrad and grad school?
So I actually started out at my undergrad at University of Buffalo, but then I didn't like it there. So I actually graduated with my bachelor's degree because the school was too big, and big schools aren't for everyone.
Yeah.
Big colleges aren't for everyone because, I remember going to my first psychology class, and there were 453 students in that class.
Oh, wow.
I was like, how am I going to learn anything in here? I'm actually teaching myself. So a large school wasn't for me. So I ended up going to Maddie College. And when I went to Maddie College, I was very successful. I graduated with the Maddie Medal for being on the dean's list for every year, 8 semesters.
Oh, wow. 8 semesters. Oh, my gosh. Oh, you still got it?
Yeah.
You still got the medal?
Yeah, of course I do.
You put it on your resume, too?
Yeah, I graduated cum laude.
Oh, look at you.
Yes.
Learning more about you because I didn't know that. Okay, auntie.
With honors.
Okay. Oh, she said with honors. Okay, put some respect on her name.
Period.
All right, and where'd you go to grad school at?
Buff State.
Okay.
I went to grad school at Buff State. I love Buff State. I have my master's degree, Master's of Science in Higher Education Student Affairs Administration with a concentration in counseling and administration. At Maddie, I was a business major, right? And I love Maddie because Maddie set me on the path to where I am now. I was a business major because I thought, hey, I'm in the business field. You can do anything with a business degree. And then when I was at Maddie, I started working in the financial aid office as a student assistant. And I loved it. I love working in the financial aid. I love helping people with their financial aid because I'm a numbers girl. I really love numbers. And so my high school diploma is in math. So
oh, wow.
That tells you. Not knowing that it was going to take me, working in that office was going to take me to enjoying financial aid or higher education. And my sister actually inspired me to go back for my master's degree in higher education, student affairs administration. She said, if you're going to do higher education, you need to understand it and not just do it. And that brought me to Buff State for my master's degree.
Wow. Yeah. Financial aid and the numbers. I'm not a numbers girly. So are you good with budgeting too?
Yeah, I can.
Is you a numbers girly?
Yeah.
Yeah. Me and budgets don't get along too well, but you already know that. So.
I mean, so let me say this. I don't feel anyone is always is excellent at budgeting because life happens. And I always say life can get in the way whenever it wants to. So when life is happening, yeah, you can mess up a budget. But the art of knowing if you're a budgeter or not is being able to bounce back. Can you bounce back? Have you bounced back? Yes, you have. You take the advice that's given to you and you maneuver it so that your budget is good now, right? Here. So, yeah, you're a budgeter.
Okay. Well, why we going to segue? Because while we're talking about, life be lifing, let's get into scholarships. So when life is lifing, how does scholarships help in the academic world, obviously?
So I think what happens to most people, and the reason why I pursued higher education, right, and financial aid, because I figured out that if you can teach a person how to master financial aid, how to utilize financial aid, and how to get scholarships, then that person becomes a lifelong learner, and they enjoy learning. Because at the end of the day, I don't care what degrees you have, you're always learning. We're always taking leadership workshops and different things like that. So you're continuously learning. Knowing how to master those and not having to pay for them is budgeting, right? So what happens with scholarships? Scholarships gives you the means to be able to educate yourself, enjoy education without the stress of money. And money is stressful.
For sure it is, especially now. Like, it just seemed like the rent keep going up to go to school.
Well, as we know, as wages go up, so does the cost of living, but sometimes our paychecks don't reflect that. So you have to educate yourself continuously to be able to not just educate yourself to get the better job, but to know how to maneuver in the world.
Yeah. So as a high school student, for our high schoolers that will be listening or the parents that will be listening, when should high schoolers start to begin looking for scholarships?
I would say your junior year. I know a lot of people say, oh, start applying your senior year. Yes, some of them you don't apply until your senior year, but you don't know what to apply for if you're not looking for them, right? So I tell students, your sophomore year, it's okay to look and start saying, okay, I know this is the school I'm thinking about going to. I know that I have to cover tuition, room and board, books, and fees. Those are 4 major things that has to be covered in order for you to go to school, right? If you're living out of state, you already know you got room and board. It's a must. And as for freshman students, you're not allowed to live off of campus. So you can't go live. If you're out away from your home, you have to live on campus, right? So room and board is included in your tuition, basically. But they're 2 separate bills, right? So I always tell students, and you have to know what type of scholarships to look for, right? A lot of students go out and they look for scholarship, need-based scholarships or tuition-based scholarships. But perfect example, a Say Yes student. A Say Yes student, if you're 100% Say Yes, you don't need to look for a tuition scholarship. Say Yes is going to cover that for you. We're a last dollar tuition scholarship. That simply means that after your federal aid and your state aid has been applied to your tuition, anything left over, Say Yes is going to cover. And after we cover that, you got to remember you still have your fees that you need to cover and your room and board. Those are the type of scholarships that you need to be looking for. Scholarships that don't say specifically for tuition. If they say for tuition, because we're last dollar, because state aid is for tuition, they come in before any of us grants do.
So what makes a student eligible for the SAYS scholarship?
So in order to be eligible just for the basic eligibility coming out of high school, you have to live in the city of Buffalo. So you have to be a city of Buffalo resident. In that, I like to tell people, because a lot of times we get the students that live right on the border, I like to tell students, your school district needs to be city of Buffalo. So if your school district is city of Buffalo, then you're considered a Say Yes student. You have to live in the city of Buffalo. You have to complete at a minimum of 9th through 12th grade continuously. That means no interruptions in your attendance record, right? So that interruption being that maybe you transfer to another school district for 2 weeks. That 2 weeks matter because it's outside of the district. So you have to have 9th through 12th grade continuous enrollment and graduate from a Buffalo public or charter school. And remember, the charter schools do count, but you have to be a Buffalo charter school. Schools like Tapestry, Health Science, Buffalo Academy of Science.
CSAT, is CSAT included
yes,
too?
it is.
Okay,
It is.
CSAT.
It is now included. It started being included, I think, in 2019. First, in 2012, 13, when Say Yes started, it was not included because it's set in Kenmore school districts, not in the Buffalo.
Okay, and then you mentioned the concept of last dollar. Can you kind of break that down for people that don't understand what that is?
So when we say last dollar, basically it's like, so students have to apply for federal aid. They have to apply for state aid because we want you to utilize as much free money as possible because Say Yes is not a grant. It's not funded by federal or state dollars. It's funded by private donors like yourself or me who decide, hey, we want to give something to Say Yes. So because of that, we have to make sure the money's stretched so it can help students for generations, right? So because of that, we need to be a last dollar. So we say, hey, we want you to apply for federal aid. We want you to apply for state aid. After your federal aid is applied to your tuition, and only your tuition. We don't look at fees. We don't look at your room and board, your tuition only. And I'll give you a perfect example, right? Because this is the easiest way to explain. SUNY Buff State tuition is $3,535 right now. It could change, but right now it's $3,535. Let's say you get a Pell Grant. And your Pell, which is the FAFSA, not the student loans, just the Pell Grant, is maybe $1,000, right? So you take that $1,000 off first, and then your TAP grant, let's say it's $1,500, right? That's $2,500. We're taking off your tuition automatically. The remainder of that is what Say Yes is going to cover. That $1,035.
Okay. Okay, so they don't give you the entire tuition, because that sometimes is also the confusion for some students. They may think that they're going to get a refund check back because they thought that you're going to fully cover the scholarship. Whereas, like, no, if your state and your TAP and your Pell and all those things cover a portion of it, we're going to cover the remainder. So I think that's also the differentiation that has to be made as well, because I guess for somebody like me, I thought I was getting a refund check back, to be honest. But
our goal is to make sure you don't have a bill, not to give you pocket money.
That's the key.
There you go.
And that is the key. And I think that is the misconception when it comes to Say Yes and the scholarship. I think people always think, free money, I'm going to college for free. And it's like, you're going to college with no bill, but we're not covering the whole cost if you have other means to do so.
Right.
So that's
the key. You're not going to college for free. You're paying for it because you have access for federal and state aid, right? So having to apply for federal and state aid, that's not money that extends for the rest of your life. It's a limit to it. New York State TAP gives you 8 semesters, 4 years to finish your degree. And after that, they're like, we don't care if you get a degree or not. We're not giving you any more money because they feel like if taking the right amount of credits, and I will be honest with you, if a student takes at least 15 credits per semester, they can complete school in 4 years. Well, and let me rephrase that. I don't want to say just take. You have to take and pass them. Not just take them. You got to earn the credits. So you got to get those passing grades, right? So if you take those classes and you pass those classes, you can finish school in 4 years. You can finish school in less than 4 years if you take 18. But it's on your learning level, right? Say Yes only requires 12. So we say, but because of that, most students think, oh, I'm going to get a refund check. This is excellent, but you're using up your money at the end of the day because there's a limit to how much federal gives you and a limit to how much state gives you.
Yes, and we're on federal aid. So for the FAFSA, what is the FAFSA? What is the acronym?
FAFSA is the Free Application for Federal Student Aid.
Okay.
And you must understand that the reason it's termed like that is because that when you look at your bill or your award letter, it won't say FAFSA. It'll say Pell.
Yeah.
That the application is called Free Application for Federal Student Aid because federal student aid doesn't only consider the grant. It is loans, student loans, the unsubsidized loans, the subsidized loan. Those are federal aid also. And
all students have to fill that out even to be considered eligible for the Say Yes scholarship. You have to fill that out in order to even know what Say Yes is going to provide, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right, because the job of Say Yes is to take the donors' dollars and to stretch them as far as we can stretch them. And in order to do that, we do need you to access the free money that federal state gives you. A lot of people automatically come out saying, I know I'm not going to get anything. Yeah, but we don't know that. So I need to know that in order to be able to give you something. So whether you think you're going to get it or not, we still tell you to apply. I've had students, especially when I first started at Say Yes in 2017, I remember a young lady said, I'm not going to get anything anyway, but she got $250.
Wow, that's
still
$250
something. $250 is something, right?
Looks.
Right.
Looks, so.
Well, it goes, because it's TAP, it has to go towards your tuition.
Oh, wow.
TAP is Tuition Assistance Program.
Yeah.
The acronym TAP, Tuition Assistance Program.
Oh, thank you. I didn't know that. So thank you. So while we're on that topic as well, please talk about the importance of looking at your letters when it comes to your loans, because that is something that I did not do whatsoever. So I didn't know what I was getting, what was coming out, what I would have to pay back. I knew I was getting a refund check, but you're not looking like how you just broke everything down. Like when you said it's not going to show up as FAFSA on the letter, it's going to show up as Pell or other items. How important is that to look at your letter when you get it and not just to say circle yes or check yes and send it back? How important is it?
First, I want to say that I recommend to any student and all students, look for scholarships before you take the loans. The scholarships are out there. It is if you go online and Google it, it's a known fact that students leave millions and billions of dollars on the table because they don't want to apply for the scholarships.
I know I did.
I think most students do. And the sad part about it is when I was in, they weren't out there. There were no loans. There were no scholarships out there for us. So there was no Say Yes out there for us to give us a starting point to propel us into saying, okay, wait, I got this scholarship. Let me see what else is out there for us, right? So you have to take out loans. Yes, students have to take out, some students will always have to take out loans, especially if they're traveling, they're going out of state. But it's important to only take out what you need, right? Because students take out the loans and they're like, oh, free money, I'm getting a refund.
Free money.
But you forgot that you had to pay that refund back.
Yes.
You know? Right.
Yeah.
You take out what you need. And I think that's the biggest thing, that students take out more than what they need. And what they do is they usually take out the sub and the unsub loan.
Yes.
And the unsub loan is an interest-bearing loan from the time you sign off saying you want that loan.
Yeah.
It starts accruing interest monthly based on whatever percentage that is given at that time. So you're accruing interest while you're in school. Yes, you don't have to pay it back until you get out, but you're accruing interest on that money while you're in school.
So also on the concept of paying it back, you are able to start paying on your loans while in college.
Of course.
I did not know that.
Yeah, the federal government's not going to stop you from giving them.
But nobody tells us this stuff.
Well, technically, and we say this to each other, reading is fundamental. Just like you have to go over your emails when they come, and you have to read them, not say, oh, this is from federal, I got that already, and pass it along. There's information in there that you, there's information in there that you need to read. It's almost like those credit card bills that y'all don't read because y'all students in college and they're giving y'all those credit cards and you like spend it. And when the bill comes, like, how? I only bought this much, but you forgot the interest rate.
Interest rate.
Oh, and more importantly, you forgot what they were going to charge you on that late fee when you didn't pay that
Or how about
interest.
not even looking at the APR? Just go,
at all.
oh, I got approved. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you go ahead, oh, I got approved for this one. Let me see how many more I get.
Exactly.
And you buy that little thing that turns into
that cute little purse.
Yes. Maddie had a shopping fetish when she was in college.
Yes, because I thought I had some money with the federal, the federal student aid. I was getting them refund checks.
Right.
But yes, it is really important to know what you're signing off on, especially like if you don't have prior knowledge, especially when it comes to financial literacy. Like, it's important because I'm like 25 right now, and I am reaping what I sowed, and not in a good way. I mean, I guess in both ways, but learning in an aspect way. I'm 25 right now, so at least I'm not like, a little bit older dealing with these issues. So now I'm acknowledging it and figuring out, okay, like, how can I start paying these loans off, paying these credit card bills off? So like, financial literacy is important. So what do you think can be done, or what other resources are out there for our students to tap into that they may not know about?
Financial literacy classes. I mean, because let's be real, your problem was not that you took out loans because you needed loans. You were away for school. So you did need loans to help out with the room and board because you weren't paying for all those scholarships you needed to be applying for. Your problem was that you use loans to feed your fetishes, to buy you stuff. Students take out loans and they go to buy cars, right? They want to buy a car and they take out a loan. And and they forget that it's interest on this loan too. I got time to pay it back. When you could have just went and bought a car, got to finance the car with a loan there, and had to pay it back and been paying it off sooner, right? So I think going to those financial literacy workshops that banks offers, that schools offer, and they offer them. A lot of times, lack of knowledge is not because it's not out there for us to obtain. It's because we don't chase after it. Knowing that you need that financial literacy, it teaches you how to balance your budget, to understand your budget. It teaches you how to be a better person in society. Because as somebody said this to me when I was in college, Dr. Davis, she was one of my professors, my higher education professor. And she said something to me that sticks with me forever. She said that education is findable if you want to find it. So you can be educated on any and everything that you want to be educated on. You can be rich. You can be a millionaire because you have to chase after it, right? A lot of people say, I don't know how to do stocks and bonds, right? That's because you're not going to get educated on how to do stocks and bonds. So it's a teaching moment that you had to learn. And I remember those days you're coming to us saying, oh my God, can you believe this? Yes, we could. But look at you now, right? You learned a lesson. You learned what to utilize your federal money for, and now you are out here telling other students that, which is surprising, telling other students that, hey, don't do that. There's other things that you can do to achieve everything that you want to achieve. And going to school, understanding the facts. But you know what's a big thing, Maddie, that surprises me? Students don't need loans like I told you. You did not need loans when you were in college.
I didn't.
Because we were helping you cover everything. And there's means. There's summer internships.
I had summer internships. So I was working all summer.
Right. And so that money should have took care of the things that you needed it to.
But see, it's also about being greedy though, too, because I think I was greedy when it came to money. Once I got that lump sum, because I worked 2 jobs on campus as well. And then on top of that, my freshman year and probably all 4 years, I got a scholarship from the Community Foundation as well. My freshman year, I had 7 scholarships, not including the Say Yes scholarship yet. So everything.
And let's not talk about the 3 jobs you worked every summer that could have taken care of everything that you wanted.
But I wanted new clothes and all that. I think it's really shifted the mindset.
Where does clothes at now?
They're gone. But look at today. I didn't buy a new outfit for this interview. I actually found something in my closet. This shirt is new, but I didn't.
That was in your closet.
Yeah, it was in my closet. Exactly.
That you bought when
these shoes. You can't really see the shoes, but they're new. Yes. But yeah, that's.
I think that we as a society. So I'm always on TikTok, and I love TikTok. Well, I'm not always on it because I'm always busy, but I love TikTok. There's a guy on there that always says this, and this kind of fits to the younger generation, the older too, but all of us, but especially you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to plug that in there, especially you, that rich people aren't rich because they spend their money. Rich people aren't rich because they don't spend their money. That if you could purchase a $500 handbag and only got $50 in it, what was the point of the purchase of the $500 handbag?
Yeah.
You only have $50. So how about purchase the $50 handbag and put $500 in it?
I have never purchased a $500 handbag. Maybe $300, but not $5. That's way too much.
So I'm sorry. So it left you with $200 to put in a handbag. It's still too much money.
Yeah.
I mean, I buy my handbags on clearance. Yes, I'm a budgeter.
Listen, I don't buy handbags anymore. I had to get real serious on my budget. Obviously, you know, learning about financial literacy. Yes, already. And the credit card loans and figuring out that I got to pay student loans back now and the interest that they have on it and transferring everything over to a whole nother payment account. And it's been a learning. Yes, consolidating.
And you know what you forget? You were lucky. Yeah. Because of Biden and all the things he passed, you got a break. But typically, you have to pay student 6 months after you only get a 6-month grace period, right? Yeah. And it depends. So if a student goes to school for 3 years, then they decide to take maybe a year off, that's your 6 months grace period.
Wow.
Then they go back to school. They say, okay, we're going to defer your loans because you're in school. But time you graduate, that next year, oh, no, you don't get that 6 months grace period. You use your 6 months grace period. Yeah. There's only one 6-month grace period.
I'm happy you talked about taking a year off because I know when it comes to the scholarship, there is an option to appeal a scholarship as well. Like whether you lose it or if you stop for like a year or two or take a break, talk about that a little bit, the option to appeal and what the process is like.
There are several other requirements. So I guess we're getting into the other requirements of the Say Yes scholarship. So to be eligible for the scholarship is the first, to be a Buffalo resident, to attend a Buffalo public or charter school from a minimum of 9th through 12th grade. Then there is the eligibility of when you're in college, which is the college access, right? So now you're in college, you've graduated, you're eligible. Let's say, I might as well get to the rest of this. Yes. Say you're going to a SUNY or CUNY school. There's a difference. SUNY and CUNY schools, how we help you at a SUNY or CUNY school is based on your length of time in a Buffalo public school, right? So if you go to a Buffalo public school for a minimum of 9th through 12th grade, and that's all you went, 65%. We'll cover 65% of your tuition. The numbers and the amounts go up from there. If you go from kindergarten to 12th grade, we're going to cover 100% of your tuition.
I did.
And tuition only. And it decreases after that. I think 7th through 12th grade is 65%. Okay. I think at 3rd grade, we move up to 80%, and at 1st or 2nd grade, it's 90%, but the numbers change. It's not all the same. I'm sorry, I don't have that piece of paper in front of me. But for private schools, that's for SUNY or CUNY schools, State of New York schools, and City of New York schools. So for private school, it's based on the fact of if you're eligible and your family's income. So a private school, those are our donors, right? So private schools, the donor dollar actually comes from that private school. So that private school is saying, hey, if you're a City of Buffalo resident and you're able to be accepted into our school. Now, we don't get you accepted. That's your job. My job is not to get you accepted or call the school up and say, hey, Maddie wants to go to your school. I need you to allow her to go. That is not my job. My job is to make sure that once you get there, that your bill is paid, right? So you have to get in. Once you get into a SUNY or CUNY school, I pay based on a sliding scale. If you go to a private school, then that school says as long as your family's income is under $75,000, you'll get a full tuition scholarship. Now, on our private school list, we have over 101 schools, all the way to Brown University, University of Rochester, University of Southern California. We have several schools.
For private schools, is it a limited amount of scholarships for students?
It depends, and that's where I was getting. So some of our schools are unlimited scholarships. If you can get in, we give it to you. Some of our schools are limited scholarship. Canisius College is a limited scholarship. Trocaire is a limited scholarship. Who else? Several. Damon is a limited scholarship. And that's because the school is guaranteeing the scholarship. Yeah. They're our donor. So remember, we're based on private donor dollars, meaning that school donated those tuition amounts, right?
So they get to choose how many scholarships they want to provide.
Right? And private schools differ from state schools. SUNY and CUNY schools are considered public school. Private schools are private schools. That mean they're independently owned and operated by their board. And so their board says what they can and cannot do.
So what about the HBCU schools?
So we only have 5 HBCUs, and those are unlimited scholarship schools.
Okay.
I have 5 students now at Benedict College up in South Carolina. North Carolina. Yeah, I have 5 students there right now who love it. The young ladies love it. One of our students just one of our students and her mother is a co-worker, a colleague at Say Yes Buffalo.
Wow.
She's Miss Sophomore at on her campus.
Yes, so congratulations to her.
So Say Yes Buffalo students do great things. These are students who came from public schools that sit on honor rolls. We have another student who went to Howard University, but she went to Howard on a special grant. So we had a donor that said, we're willing to give this many scholarships to students to go to HBCUs. And we had an application process. They had to write an essay. It went before a committee, and the committee picked the recipients. All those recipients have graduated also. I want to
Congratulations to them too.
And we had one who went to Howard and in her senior year, before she graduated, secured a 6-figure job at Google. In New York City. So I don't care, like I said from the beginning, I don't care what school you go to, Buffalo Public or not, you can be successful. Our scholarships range in the manner that they do to help students be successful, right? So we incorporate every school, public schools, private schools. Our private schools, once you go to a private school, you have to follow the same restrictions or guidelines. So our guidelines say, you're in school, we need you to go full time. We want you to go full time because we want you to graduate. We don't want you to prolong your time in school because we don't want you to run out of your federal aid or your state aid. So we need you to take a minimum of 12 credits per semester.
What's the GPA they have to keep, a 2.5?
A minimum of a 2.0.
Oh, 2.0. Oh, they changed it?
No.
Was it always 2.0?
Yeah, it was always a 2.0. I think I told you 2.5 because
I was like, I swear it was 2.5.
That was auntie syndrome. Like, girl, you can do better than a 2.0. So
I mean, I did way better than 2.5, but I was just making sure. I'm like,
but
okay.
yeah, we push you high so you
go
can
higher.
Reach the stars, right?
Yeah.
So it's 2.0 though, a minimum of a 2.0. Say Yes Buffalo looks at you every semester. So the first semester, if you drop below 12 credits and or a 2.0, so it's not one like, ooh, I got 12 credits, but I passed 12 credits, but my GPA was a 1.9. No, they both matter. You have to have you have to earn 12 credits. You have to take and earn 12 credits per semester, and you have to do it a minimum of a 2.0. The first semester we say, hey, you need to pull it together. We're going to put you on academic probation. That's our way of getting your attention and saying, hey, you're messing up. We don't want you to mess up so bad, because if you mess up with Say Yes, you're messing up with federal. You're messing up with state, right? So the second semester, if you do it 2 consecutive semesters below a 2.0 or below 12 credit hours earned, then we're going to take your scholarship for that next semester.
Yeah. So
say fall, you went into school, it's your first year, you just coming out of high school, don't really acclimate, and you do bad. You get a 1.9, 12 credits but a 1.9. We're going to say, hey, we need you to put it together. We're going to put you on academic probation. The next semester, you only earn 10 credits with a 2.0, but you only earn 10 credits. Now we're going to say, wait, hold on, you're messing up too much. We're going to take your scholarship for that fall semester. And you have to earn, but you do get the opportunity to earn it back. So that next semester, say you come out of your pocket with a little bit of money and you have to pay for your own education for that semester.
You hold it, that helps.
Right. It's kind of saying to you,
wake
get
up
it together. Free money isn't free money. You have to do something to get that free money, right?
Yeah.
So the next semester, we're going to give it back after you earn those 12 credits with that 3.5, because you was like, well, I'm not going to take any chances. And then we're going to give it back. But you only need to earn 12 credits with a 2.0 to get it back.
That's minimum.
That's minimum, right? That's the minimum. So, and that's all we say. Now, let's say a student is out of high school and they really like, I am not ready for college, which happens, right? And we don't want you going to school. Say Yes doesn't want you going to school and you're not ready. So we say, okay, go ahead. Take a semester off. Take 2 semesters off if you need to. So we give students what we call a gap year. And you can take a semester off or a year off. You can use it before you ever go to school. You can say something happened financially, family, and you needed to take a semester off while you're in school, while you're in college. We say, okay, no problem with that either. Then after that, you're only given that year. No matter when you take it, you're only given a year. And let's say you had to take more time because of family situations or whatever. We're going to give you that opportunity to appeal and say, hey, something happened. Yes, I know I took a year off because I wasn't ready, but then something happened in my family. Something happened in life, because life like we like to say. And we're going to give you the opportunity to write and file an appeal. It goes before the appeal committee tries to meet once a month. And it goes before a board that consists of people of our staff, people of other Say Yes communities, and board members, actual board members. And their goal is to get you the scholarship. They want to give you the scholarship, but there has to be some guidelines to it, right? So 90% of our appeals are approved. So we don't have a bad record.
Wow.
We can get the appeals approved.
90% of appeals are always approved. Wow, that's crazy. That's a blessing.
Yeah.
That's really a blessing that people get like a second chance to gain a scholarship that could cover your full tuition.
Yep, right. And you get it back at the full rate that you were before you left.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy. Wow, I learned so much in this. I just have a few more questions, and then we can wrap it up, because this is just going so good. I think it's the first time we always have serious conversations, but this is so funny.
It's been a while.
Yes.
Since you got out of school,
oh
your
my gosh,
stopped because you stopped needing our help. You kind of got educated a little bit.
Yes, a little bit, not too much. But so I guess I just want to ask for our listeners that are parents out there, and you being a parent, obviously, what does scholarship mean to a lot of families that we service, especially the ones that have kids who are first generation students?
It means college access. A lot of families that out there never even, I hear students say all the time, I never even thought I was going to be able to go to college because I knew my family couldn't afford it, right? And because at the end of the day, middle income families don't get as much aid, right? Because your family can make, and if I'm going to be honest, your family can make $40,000, $50,000, $80,000. Your family can make $80,000. And I don't know, $80,000 sounds like a lot of money, but not when you got 3 and 4 kids. It's not. And so, and you got yourself and your 4 kids to feed. That's not a lot of money. And federal, believe it or not, state, you max out $80,000. You usually don't get any. You might get $250 to help out with a $3,535 tuition. Right? That's not a lot of money. So what happens is Say Yes steps in and says, listen, you guys have the meat, because the academic scholarships out there, right? Because sometimes you can be a City of Buffalo student and you might not have been doing it good all the time, right? So, and you might mess up a semester or two and your grades aren't where they're supposed to be, right? And you don't have that academic access. And the academic scholarship, that pool is small, right? Everybody at every school doesn't get it. Everybody with a 90 average is not getting an academic scholarship from that school. It might be one or two, right? So you don't have the money. Even the kids that go to schools like City Honors, Hutch Tech, that have those decent grades aren't getting those scholarships because they're limited, right? Say Yes scholarship isn't limited. It says every City of Buffalo student. So Say Yes is college access, right? We can't help everybody. There are rules and regulations. There are guidelines that are established by our board so that the money can last, right? So that they can help as many students as they can. Sometimes we're not able to help everybody. Doesn't mean we don't want to. It just means that for some reason it just didn't work out. But we always go the extra mile and say, hey, here's some scholarships, though, that you can apply for. So, or we might not be able to give you a scholarship for whatever reason. But, hey, you know what? You're still a Say Yes Buffalo student. Here, we can help you with this. We can help you get an internship. We can help you find other scholarship. We have our pathway to our workforce development program now that gives you, okay, you might not, college might, and I want to say this because a lot of times people think that everybody push education, right? I push access. to workforce, right? And education is one access to workforce.
But there's other routes.
But there's other options, right? So my daughter, right? Like you said, I have a daughter. She didn't want to go to school. School was not for her. She was like, no, I don't want to go to school. I want to trade. So she went to trade school. She went to school for cosmetology. Say Yes Buffalo also can help with things like that. A lot of students don't know that, but they can. It's a limited number of scholarships for that, but they can help with that.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I think for me, like, when I think of the scholarship, it definitely, meant the word access. It means opportunity, especially because I know, and I always get, I'm not even going to get choked up about it, but I always get choked up about it just talking about it because, like, I would not be here without the scholarship. And, like, people just think that scholarship is like, oh, free money. And Say Yes is like, oh, free money, free tuition. But, like, if you only were there, like, with me in undergrad, and you would see that so many of my friends could not finish because they did not have a scholarship. And I'm just over here free willy, just taking full advantage of having a scholarship and being able to pass through. There was never a time where somebody said, oh, your bill isn't paid, your tuition is not covered. There was never a time where I was on AP actually either, but there was just never a time where I had an incident when it came to funding for college, whereas probably more than 50% of my year in college dropped out because of the fees. They weren't able to cover them. It was too much. And they were taking out the money on their own, or their parents were paying for it if they were able to afford it. But somebody like me, I didn't even know until I started getting to Upward Bound as well. I didn't know about college. Like, my mom, she graduated from college. She has her master's as well. But because it wasn't like a big push in my family or the people that I surrounded myself with, I didn't know anything about it. And then, like, once I went to Hutch Tech, I started hearing about Say Yes Buffalo, but I still wasn't invested enough for it to push me. Okay, let me really figure things out. And then up until my junior year, like, I started meeting with my counselor, and she started, like, explaining to me what it was. Like, no, you need to apply for Say Yes. Like, I come from a one income household. It was my mother just providing, the funds. So of course she wouldn't be able to cover. I'm a twin. She can't cover two tuitions. So I'm thinking, like, well, let me figure it out so I could get this together. Then I started going on college tours and actually started seeing what was going on. I knew I wanted to go away. And I'm like, well, we can't cover both tuitions, and I can't cover my room and board. So, like, what, and then I'm like, well, Say Yes. And then not even knowing, like, the other opportunities to provide me, like the internship, the foundation, the mentors, like, just so much, to the point where I was able by my junior year to know exactly what I wanted to do, who I wanted to work for, the route that I was going to take, and how I was going to get there. And then the fact that, like, this all came through getting a scholarship, and now I'm here is, like, crazy. So, like, my advice is to take advantage of that scholarship and everything that Say Yes has to offer and all it supports.
Right, and that's the thing. So I think, Maddie, you took advantage of everything. So yes, Say Yes does offer a scholarship, right? And I'm not going to, and there's times where I think you had to call me and say, hey, my scholarship didn't come through yet. It's like, don't worry about it, it's coming, because we have different deadlines than schools, right? So, but you had that assurance that didn't interfere with you academically, because you were like, hey, I know this is going to be taken care of. Let me reach out to Say Yes. If there's a problem, I'm reaching out. They're going to take care of it. They're going to figure it out, or help me figure it out. Whether it's, oh, Maddie, hey, I know you didn't do your TAP. Hurry up and fill out your TAP application. So things like that happen, right? And so it's like, okay, I can't give it to you until you do your part. There is a part that you play in it, and you did your part.
Yeah. Every time. For every year.
Right, every year. Every year you have to complete your FAFSA. Every year you have to complete your TAP application every academic year. But you did that. But now on top of that, you utilized all the other supports. You contact us. Hey, what should I do for this? Because we're there for that, right? You utilize the mentoring program. You utilize the internship program every single summer. Jesus. Yeah, Matt, you almost became a permanent figure in our office. It's like, oh, it's Maddie. I'm talking about in college. It was like, oh, it's Maddie. Why are you here, Maddie? I just needed to talk to somebody about something. Didn't care who it was, but I'm going to talk to someone who's going to help me think this thing through. So you became a part of that family, even, and that's available to most students. There are a lot of students that don't realize how much Say Yes does, like in the summer. coming up soon.
Yes,
Our college kickoff, you know? I mean, I think our college kickoff is, for me, one of our proudest hours for the scholarship department. What we do, I think when it was started by Allison Newman, which was the original director of the Say Yes Scholarship Department, knowing that she wanted to do something and make sure students were ready to go to that next step of college. I think after that, we developed it, right? We took the time and developed it. We did surveys asking students, hey, what do you feel? What do you think about this? What is missing? We worked with our college partners and said, what is missing? What do we need? And I think now I feel like we really have it down to a science.
You guys do, for sure.
I think it works so well. I'm so excited about it. And I'm so excited about the one this year, because I really think this one is going to be even better. I think every year we strive to do it better. And
do we have a date?
We're working on that. Okay. I really truly believe the date is basically secured to June 21st.
Okay.
June 21st, location to be announced, but June 21st is going to be somewhere nice. The location, everybody's going to love, because we started off doing it at WNED.
Yeah.
For years. We decided to move it from there, move it back into the schools, so students got that experience. And then last year we decided, wait, hold on. If we really want to give students that first college experience before their summer bridge programs and things like that, let's take them to a college. So we had our at ECC, and now it's moving to another college locally, and I'm really excited about this one. Yes. I really am. I'm excited about the fact that COVID drove us to say students needed computers, right? And luckily for us, partnering with places like AT&T, we're able to give students computers, and we continue to be able to give students computers. And they don't have, all they have to do is sign up, attend the college kickoff on that day, or the whole college kickoff. Not come in the morning, leave in the afternoon, but attend the whole college kickoff. Not just because of the computer, but because of what we're offering. The college kickoff offers workshops in understanding your syllabus. Why do we offer understanding your syllabus?
Because you have to.
Because high school students don't realize that when you get to college, it's based on you. It's like a cafeteria plan.
They give you
go
a plan.
In, right. We give you a big book. You go in and you choose the classes that you want based on what you want to do with the rest of your life. So it's a cafeteria plan, and you get to pick and choose, right? Yeah. And then with that picking and choosing, though, there's a contract. That syllabus is your contract. The teacher tells you, this is what I'm offering you in this class, and this is what I need you to do.
Yeah.
And you have the ability to hold that school and that teacher, that professor, that adjunct professor, that tenured professor to that contract. Wait, hold on. You said if I do these things, then this would happen. This didn't happen, but I did these things. Yeah. I did them on time, and students need to understand that, because what happens is we go to high schools, right? And we go to public schools. We don't go to private schools. So we don't have our parents in our ear saying, you better get them grades together because I'm paying for this. Exactly. We don't have that benefit. We're at a public school. We just attend. But college, you're paying for that. Every penny of your money. So your job is to, if you go to a classroom in college and just sit there and don't do anything,
that's on you.
That professor is not worried because he got his check.
Exactly.
Right.
That's on you.
It's almost like public school, but public school is they're required. You know, it's a requirement. Hey, your students need to do well because they feel you. No, not because it's not a requirement. High school is not. College is not a requirement in society, in life. Is it necessary? For some. Is it necessary for everyone? No. Is education necessary for everyone? Some level of it, yes. And it doesn't have to be college. It can be a trade school. It can be a trade program. But that is education because you're being taught something, right? And that's the base of education. Yeah. So the College Kickoff offers that syllabus class. We offer a time management class, which all students need. And I always laugh because some of our highest achieving students, when they get to that first year, that freshman year in college, they're like, yeah, but I can get the grades because I can do the work. But now I got to balance all of this because each class wants an essay that day. Each class not talking to, the one professor not talking to another professor saying, oh, I'm having a test this day. Are you? They don't care. You can have 3 tests right behind each other. Yeah. So you need to know how to manage your time because now you have to incorporate life into education because mommy and daddy aren't there to do all the other stuff. You have to do it for yourself, like when you went away to school. We offer a scholarship. This year we're doing, instead of doing just a workshop, instead of doing a presentation on financial aid and scholarships and Say Yes, we're doing a whole workshop. So we're going to sit in, it's going to be a workshop on understanding financial aid, understanding the Say Yes scholarship, how it works, what you can expect, what we need you to do. We're going to give a little bit of information about loans because we don't like to really delve into loans because we really don't want you taking them. But we're going to tell you where to find some good scholarships and when to start looking for them and where to look for the ones, even if you're a continuing education student, which means you're not a freshman anymore. So I'm a sophomore. What scholarships are available to me? We're going to do that. We're going to do a mental health workshop, right? We have an excellent presenter that does a mental health workshop. His name is Stan Simmons. He's at Buff State, but the students love his workshop. He teaches them the importance of their mental health, where to go get the help for their mental health, and he gives them different skill tips of what to do for their mental health. So we're excited about that. Because we give computers now, we have a technology piece, right? How to use your computer. Some students get their computers, but in school, you're getting Word on your computer. College, you might not get Word. You might have to pay for that. So we need to teach you the other things that are out there for you to utilize until you can get Word and Excel and all those things on your computer. Apps. Yeah, the Google apps. Yes. Yeah. Yep, and we're going to give you that. We give you a FAFSA completion, right? We're going to have FAFSA completion people actually right there
to so make sure you can finish it.
Finish your FAFSA. Yes. Finish your TAP application. The people are right there. The experts are right there. My colleague, Stacy Rankin, does an excellent job of going out to these schools, helping the students sign up for their Say Yes application, but more importantly, helping the students, even if she has to do it in the evening, set appointments. Sometimes I'm at my desk, she's at her desk, and I'm hearing her talk a student through or a family through how to complete that application. So.
Yes, I think the kickoff is really, really important to have. It's kind of like that summer reading initiative. There's a disconnect between the time that you graduate and the time that you start your first day in college. I remember my first day, first of all, when I moved in, I set everything up, and my parents gave me a kiss goodbye, and they left, and I cried. Because I had never been away from home, and we didn't talk about mental health. We didn't talk about the stress. We didn't talk about anything. And then the biggest thing for me was not eating lunch with my friends. You have a set lunch time, in high school, A, B, or C. You go inside lunch. You guys know what time you have lunch. You sit where you sit at. And in college campuses, there's different cafes, there's different cafeterias, there's different places that you can go and eat. And you eat by yourself until you find people that you niche with, whether it's in class, whether it's through extracurricular activities. It's just crazy. It's such a different world, especially if you're living on campus. But even if you're not, still just going in that first day, and you're sitting in a class, it may be 20 people, it may be 100 people in a lecture hall, and you're like, what? How can I pay attention to this? And my head is going crazy. But that kickoff is literally catered towards not just that one aspect, but many, when it comes to students going into their freshman year of college ready, because people just automatically assume that kids are ready, and they are not. And especially, I'm saying generation because they're a little bit younger than me, but the 2000s babies, they are not ready. A lot of them are not ready.
They're virtual babies.
Yes. And that disconnect is crazy, but the kickoff is so important because you guys not only give computers, but you guys also help out with dorm room stuff. Yep. I know that I got a lot of stuff for my dorm room. My dorm room was decked out because it Say Yes. Everything. And then the gift cards. You guys from Amazon. Right. So shout out to Amazon and AT&T, like we said before. Thank you for those things. That's necessary. And you don't get that from a lot of organizations. So it's you guys are thinking consistently all around support for what a college ready student looks like, which is extremely important. But
I think what a lot of people forget is that Say Yes Buffalo, yes, it is a scholarship entity, but we didn't stop there, right? Say Yes kept saying, okay, what else do they need? What else do they need? What else can we give them? How can we prepare them? What else do they need? And I think we continue to ask that question. We have one of the best CEOs in history, Dave Russ. Shout out to Dave.
Shout out to Dave.
Because Dave constantly challenges us to what is it that they need? What can we give them? How can we help them?
Literally, I hear him saying that while you're saying
right in your head. So what else? So what do you need, Yolanda, to make that happen?
Yes.
So
what can we do?
Right. What can we do? How can we help? And we And I think those are the things that a lot of people forget. So say you started as scholarships, but it said, wait, but we need to prepare them. So let's go into the schools. Yeah, we need to make sure they have their supports. But wait, the families need those supports too. So let's go and do community schools and give the parents and the families the things that they need, whether it's preparing a resume, writing a resume, workshops. I mean, once we had a closet for if you needed business attire.
Yes.
We've given everything. Yes,
Love
dorm room
that.
supplies. Dorm room supplies. We've collected, like last year, Amazon gift cards. Amazon gift cards again this year. We are giving out those Amazon gift cards, and this time you're getting them at the kickoff. We're not even waiting. I'm not waiting. You don't have to come back another time. I want the students ready with whatever they needed that day when they leave that building on the 21st. Because college is a journey. Education is a journey. I think that the biggest thing that I could say about the kickoff is that we take a group of kids that go to different schools that probably would never have intermingled, like you said, at your college, and we dump them all in the same room. But we don't let them go to the same workshops with their friends. Oh no, you're going over here. Your friends are going over there. You know, you're not. It's not like everybody that came from Hutch Tech is here and Lafayette is there and Bennett is there. Oh no, we're gonna mix you up. We're gonna mix it up. We're gonna have some fun. Last year, kids were up dancing around. We're gonna give you breakfast. We're gonna give you lunch. We're gonna give you snacks. And if we have stuff left over, you want to take some, we're gonna give you that too, right?
There's a panel component too. Are you still doing that?
Yes, that's the best part, right? Yes. So students want to speak to peers, right? You want to look at somebody that you know that went to college and because you look at people like me and you say, oh, what does she know? She older. She don't understand what we going through right now. And I know they say that because my daughter say that every day. But you have people like Maddie who sits on our panel as an alum. I don't know if I'm going to put you on the panel this year. You're too old now. We're going to put some younger people on the panel that just graduated to be able to tell those students what they went through, what you went through, right? To be able to tell those students, this is what these are the advantages. Is it going to be hard? Yes, this is life now, real life. This is life-ing, and you're the adult in this real life scenario. Before, when you were in the house telling your mother, I'm grown, now guess what? You get to be grown.
Well, yeah, maybe not on the panel. Maybe I could be the host this year. Maybe, something like that.
Oh, yeah. Always trying to get in something, right? Maddie always wanted a piece. So, I mean, we'll see, Maddie. We'll see. I think you're a little too old. I don't think they want to talk to you anymore. You know, you grown now. You're not little grown.
Oh my God.
Right. You ain't paid off credit cards. You grown now.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Crazy. You pulling out the back of the closet, not the front of the closet.
Okay. All right. Well, this was a great interview. I think the few things that we could take away here from this interview is to, one, fill out the FAFSA. Fill out the FAFSA and search for other scholarship opportunities as well.
Yeah, and if I could just say this, there are search engines for scholarships. They have an unending amount of scholarships that go all year long.
Oh, wow.
Search engines are troublesome because they're ad-based, right? So here's the biggest recommendation that I can give anyone. Go online, FastWeb, F-A-S-T, fastweb.com. Fill out a profile. But when you fill out the profile, don't give your personal email address. Set up an email address that's solely for scholarship. It's going to ask you some questions about yourself. And then you're going to start seeing things dump in there. It's going to dump different scholarship. This scholarship is available. This scholarship is available. Fill out those scholarships. I have a student. His name is Xavier Lamar. Yay, wow, Xavier. Yeah, Xavier. That's my mentee. He's at University of Albany, right? Xavier, freshman year, he went to school, tuition paid, room and board paid.
Wow.
His sophomore year, tuition paid, room and board paid. Xavier, mom, single mother, she has not had to come out of her pocket over $1,000.
That's a blessing.
And that's for full room and board, full tuition. And I think Xavier actually fills out scholarships all the time. He's never had to take out a loan for books.
Wow.
Xavier is at University of Albany with his full tuition paid. And guess what? He is right now no loan debt.
Wow.
He has never taken out a loan.
That is amazing.
That's that good mentoring.
That's amazing, right? Where was you at when I was going to
So FastWeb, because I tell Xavier every month, fill out a scholarship. Every month, you might not want to do it. Every month, fill out a scholarship. I tell Xavier, since he was a junior in high school, search for the scholarship. I tell Xavier, go to FastWeb. It might not be something you're interested in, but there's a way to do scholarships. You take a scholarship essay. You write the first paragraph is the introduction to who you are. The body, the middle paragraph, is what they're asking you. The last paragraph is a combination of both. So if you can write the beginning paragraph of who you are, all you got to do is spend a couple of hours writing, telling them what they want to know as it pertains to you. So the first part of your scholarship is always done. So he's just adding to a scholarship that he established.
Wow.
Every year.
Wow. Well,
So,
yes.
yay. You can do
First
it.
thing, fill out the scholarships and fill out the FAFSA.
Yes.
You just got some real tea from Yolanda about where to go to fill them out, how to fill out the scholarship, and how to create a profile as well. Second thing is, I'm taking away, is she said a quote from somebody that she listened to on TikTok: education is findable. If you go searching for it, right? Education is findable. So education is findable.
For anything you want
For
to be educated
anything you want to be educated about. And then the final thing is, just go out and do your best. Do your best. Do your best. Honestly, do your best and take advantage of the resources that's out there. And if you don't know what's out there, go and look for it because it is findable.
Ask questions. I think
And
that's
ask
if I
questions.
could give a final giveaway, ask questions. Maddie had because she asked, but more importantly, I think it's very important that you attend the college kickoff.
Yes.
Yay. Attend the
Yes.
college kickoff. It will provide you with so much information that you need, that you want, and know that Say Yes Buffalo is here for you.
Yes. Well, thank you. That is all the time that we have. We had an awesome conversation. This was great. This was amazing. I really hope that you guys tune in and take advantage of all the things that Yolanda said. If you want to hear more from us, please follow us on all social medias at Say Yes Buffalo, and then go to our website, sayyesbuffalo.org. We just updated it, so we don't want you to miss it. And let us know what you think about it. Until next time.